The Secret Life of Pets is the newest animated feature by Illumination Entertainment, who brought us the Despicable Me films. The film is about Max, whose owner Katie brings in another dog, Duke, to live with them. The two dogs do not get along, and by some mishap they get lost in the city and must find their way back home. I was actually pretty excited for this movie. The trailers looked really funny, and I mean, the premise is pretty cool. It's basically Toy Story, but for pets. And overall, I thought this movie was alright. I mean, it's a decent movie for kids, but for adults, there isn't much there. Eric Stonestreet and Louis C.K. were great as Max and Duke, and I really enjoyed their characters and found their relationship pretty decent and entertaining. I also really liked some of the side characters, especially Gidget the dog and Snowball the rabbit. They had some great jokes, although at times they could be a little over the top. The humor was pretty decent too, especially in the first act, although a lot of it was geared towards kids with a lot of slapstick comedy and toilet humor, and there really wasn't a whole lot for adults. My biggest negative with this movie is that it is basically a ripoff of Toy Story, not only the premise, but the plot too. At the beginning of the movie, you're introduced to Max, who loves his owner Katie, who then brings in another dog, Duke, and the two don't get along. They then get lost in the city and have to find their way back home. What does that sound like to you? On top of that, there's even a divide between the pets and the stray animals, which to me, they represent Sid's toys, and the stray animals even have an underground lair, which could be Sid's house. At one point, their friends even have a rescue mission to find them, which is straight out of Toy Story 2. The story also falls apart after the first act. It basically becomes a bunch of random scenes that are barely held together and only geared towards kids. Like, I could even feel the audience losing interest about 30 to 40 minutes into this film. There are also way too many side characters in this movie, to the point where you can't remember any of their names or get attached to them. There were some I really liked, but they were barely utilized. Finally, the ending was very predictable and similar to Toy Story. I knew exactly how it was going to end, especially the subplot with Duke. Overall, this is a fun, mindless movie for kids, but it lacks substance, a cohesive story, and strong supporting characters, making it much less enjoyable for adults. I'm going to give The Secret Life of Pets a C. If you have seen the movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, or you can just click right here to see more.